if we talk about multiculturalism as meaning that we have people come to Britain from other parts of the world that generally, make the place look a bit brighter and jollier and give us restaurants far better than we could have managed on our own, of which I have no doubt, then fine. But if multiculturalism means that you see whole sections of your towns and cities change culturally beyond all recognition, where in places English is not the first language of choice, you begin to ask yourself, what has happened to the identity of our country? I mean, it's very interesting. I mean, John Cleese, who's a very, Liberal Democrat leaning, sort of centre-left figure, said that he fails to see London anymore as being an English city. So
do you agree with that, Mr. Farage?
Well, in parts of London, I do. Yes, I do, and I think, and that's why actually, Leo, the intelligent thing is to have an immigration policy where you have proper restrictions on the numbers that come. If you have an uncontrolled flow, the hopes of people assimilating and becoming part of one society are virtually impossible. But you're right, it's very difficult territory. I remember saying a couple of years ago that I called a train out from Charing Cross, and it wasn't until we got past sort of Grove Park that I generally heard English spoken around me. And I mean, I was met with a sort of avalanche of abuse from those that support multiculturalism, who tend to live in £3 million houses in Notting Hill and think mass immigration's good because it gives them cheaper nannies. But in terms of the makeup of our society, Leo, I agree with you.
So if areas have changed, and let's perhaps think of an area in London such as Southall or Tower Hamlets or Tottenham, why does it matter if that area has gone very Asian or it's gone very Caribbean or whatever?
Because I think what happens is if you get too big a change in an area, you get resentment. You get resentment from the population that were there to begin with, and sometimes you sort of get the reinforcement of a whole area as being culturally completely different to its neighbour. Now, some may say that's fine. I actually think that I'd rather live in a society where, regardless of race or class, for that matter, people mixed together and lived in a big community. I mean, the class thing's equally, a problem. I mean, if you
sorry, the class thing.
We'll take I'm talking about wealth.
I see.
I mean, look at Kensington and Chelsea. The rich all live in gated communities. They never meet people from a different social background. And is that the kind of society that I want to live in? No.